risker de förhärver Geiraver och svita nytt härja Öldrum hertvinna och vilda Hjörtrimmel, örklindbryn Härma thruda lavgudur Sveider, hljantrimul Sigur, trifar skagaran Mig svanvidran grider Skegguldregen, leifos Gudur, svipul, tandvider Sigrum, trima, skamel, blodlotter Skeggulvissna, sandgrider Våglin, svärdgalder, valtruder Vistalten, svavaran, galder Svenmeiten, magund, lida Under, hilder, gudur Herrgjutter, grimger, hjörtrimmel Vissna, lugger, hilder Hefna, geir, skögel, jamingur Gunnel, kaula Geira, höldrisker, rifel, herver Geiraver, rosvita, nytt härja Öldrum, hertvinna och vilda Hjörtrimmel, örklindbryn Härma, fruda, lavgudur Sveider, hljantrimel Sigur, trifar, skagaran Mig svanvidran grider Skeggguldregen, leifos Gudur, svipul, tandvider Sigrum, trima, skamel, blodlotter Skeggulvissna, sandgrider Våglin, svärdgalder, valtruder Visvalten, svavaran, galder Svenmeiten, magund, lida Under, hilder, gudur Herrgjutter, kruger, hjörtrimmel Vissna, lugger, hilder Hefna, geir, skögel, jamingur Gunnel, kaula Geira, höldrisker, rifel, herver Geiraver, rosvita, nytt härja Öldrum, hertvinna och vilda Hjörtrimmel, örklindbryn Härma, fruda, lavgudur Sveider, hljantrimel Sigur, trifar, skagaran Mig svanvidran grider Skeggguldregen, leifos Gudur, svipul, tandvider Sigurd, trima, skamel, blodlotter Skeggulvissna, sandgrider Våglin, svärdgalder, valtruder Vistalten, svavaran, galder Svenmeiten, magund, lida Under, hilder, gudur Herrgjutter, kruger, hjörtrimmel Vissna, lugger, hilder Hefna, geir, skögel, jamingur Gunnel, kaula Geira, höldrisker, rifel, herver Geiraver, rosvita, nytt härja Öldrum, hertvinna och vilda Hjörtrimmel, örklindbryn Härma, fruda, lavgudur Sveider, hljantrimel Sigur, trifar, skagaran Mig svanvidran grider Skeggguldregen, leifos Gudur, svipul, tandvider Sigrum, trima, skamel, blodlotter Skeggulvissna, sandgrider Våglin, svärdgalder, valtruder Visvalten, svavaran, galder Svenmeiten, magund, lida
Alrighty, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, hope you all are doing well. Put up the audio real quick. Just make sure that this is all correct. I think it should be loud enough. Turn that down some, and I'm just right TV down. So welcome back to the Kaldvann. Welcome back to Kaldvann. Lovely afternoon here in Trondheim. We're getting close to the shortest day of the year. The winter solstice is upon us. Just make sure. Yeah, it should be fine. But I hope y'all are doing well. We're back here again in lovely Trondheim. Not much has changed since the last live stream. Maybe done a little bit of work back here. I don't know if I streamed that or not. I have been working on the old harbor island down here. Hello, scanner. So I've been working on this a little bit, trying to get some of this maybe done. It doesn't look so barren. Trying to get that smaller industrial backbone done for that'll give me some. Just kind of watching the playback on the stream, and it's a little choppy. It's a little choppy. Keep an eye on that. I blame the weather, honestly. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys have seen from last time, but some more buildings have been placed back here. So some more industrial buildings are going in. I've actually kind of worked on getting the area of the port kind of fenced off, or what would have been the port. These containers won't be here. Or I don't know. I don't know if this port would still be active or not anymore. Maybe it was reactivated here recently, but for the time being, I'm just outlining the container stack. Putting some lines around it. I'll do the same thing over here in lot B. So this is A lot, that's B lot. There'd probably be like a small office, or you could probably just be truck staging right here for trailers. There'd be other container lots elsewhere around Trondheim for the port. Got a brewery back here, as well as a kind of just gravel area, or whatever the hell that wants to be. We did the area over here a little bit. I got rid of that swing bridge. It's now just a regular old bridge right here. Nothing too fancy. Nothing huge, nothing extravagant. I also did kind of change this road a little bit and how it comes in, make it a little more cohesive. Trying to figure out exactly what's going down here. I'm thinking just houses of sorts or something. Maybe a fish processing plant, some houses and shops nearby. Maybe one road that kind of comes in dead ends, and then just maybe some houses with just regular walking streets beside it. I moved the fire station that previously sat here. I moved it back here. It'll have its driveway that come off here. This is a very, very important fire station for the area, as I believe they have quickest access to the highway, as well as they are the closest to the port, as well as also they are closest to some of the other areas that'll sit over here. So this fire department is fairly important in a strategical area, because all they have to do is, highway accident, they can just pull out here, right, they can make all right turns. So it's fairly easy for them to gain access to the highway. So they are relatively close, so they are pretty important in that aspect. And like I said, their strategical positioning to the port here made them very important for the proximity to the port, which actually plays a part in one of the larger fires in recent Trondheim history. Not the largest fire, but there was a big fire at one of these old warehouses that just about gutted the whole place and risked causing a large explosion. I think think that would make for an interesting story to go on about. Not much else has changed. Like I said, I really haven't done a whole lot since the last stream. I've been kind of just putzing about doing other things. Yeah, I don't really think I did much building placement back here. I'm just trying to think. Cause like I said, I haven't streamed in a while. I don't know what happened on the last live stream. Probably would have been helpful if I maybe played it back a little bit and just kind of observed to see maybe what I had done. We get our trees over here. I think I did a little bit of tree placement through here. Need to do some tree. I kind of want to break off from building the port, kind of doing some tree placement, but I feel like maybe getting the port done and then coming back would be a better idea. Probably getting a little more building placement, getting in the road layout, maybe some just light tree placement there, maybe actually getting some street lights down would be nice for the port, getting an area actually all lit up. And then I really need to think about what I'm doing over here. You know, what is this area going to look like? Because I have this road, it's going to be a road here. Just needs to be buildings along those ways. This I'm probably going to turn into a park just so I don't have to attempt to figure out what the hell I'm doing in this area. Also, I figure next a big building like this would probably be a park. Whatever this building so happens to be. Probably a museum of sorts or a public building of some kind, or I haven't really figured out what that building does quite yet. I believe it's the Reichstag. I guess it's like a Swedish government building, but I don't know, I kind of repurposed it for something else. It looks kind of cool, so figure it could be something for Trondheim. Actually, something that I haven't figured out is the Trondheim City Hall. You know, where's the town's municipal offices? Because you have the head of government here, which I mean, in theory, you know, you could have the town's government offices in the same building, but in all reality, I mean, there should be a town hall of some kind in Trondheim, and that's something that I think I've neglected to place. So I think this would be too large for a town hall or a city hall. I think honestly the city hall should have been somewhere in this area, around this ballpark. So that'd be something I should figure it out. Yeah, maybe it could be this building. I mean, Trondheim is pretty big. But the thing is you know, the town hall dwarfs the government buildings, so probably not a good idea. Yeah, like I said, I never figured out town hall, which it was a complete and utter afterthought about, you know, where town hall would go. Yeah, beats the hell out of me. I'm just kind of looking and seeing, like, you know, can I go somewhere over here? I'm just kind of looking at some of the buildings, and nothing in particular sticks out that could be town hall-esque. I mean, that building, but that's a police station right there. That's a part of the college campus. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking, and I don't see room. I could probably take this building out and put something in. I mean, in theory, like this is a town hall right here. I believe this is a town hall, and it would make sense for this to be a town hall. But the problem is, I drummed this up as the train station. Kind of shot myself in the foot if you really think about it. That's a courthouse. Huh. Yeah, it's just gonna bug me now that I actually pointed it out, now that I know I don't have a town hall. Merry Christmas, Jared. Hold on. Merry Christmas to you too. Hope everything is well. Sorry, I'm deep in thought. Now I am entirely stumped. I'll probably figure out a place to put it. Yeah, that's just one thing I didn't think of. Thank you. Glad you like the route. Well, I'll have to come back to that, because yeah, I don't exactly know where I'm gonna put a town hall here. Yeah, that's gonna bug me. Did I label any of these buildings for anything important? Because I could just use this building. No, I think this building's actually a theater. Yeah, I mean, this could be the Trondheim City Hall, or yeah, I'll get back to that. Alright, well, let's get this road dragged out. I'll get back to the port in a minute. I'm gonna get this road squared away for now. So there is that. Cat hair out of my house. Which actually, good news. I think Monday. I haven't really received any tracking updates from it yet, but Monday, my computer should be. Or I have a new computer coming. I finally bit the bullet. Bought a new computer, so now I can actually hopefully run my flight sim, and I would actually kind of maybe like to see if I can't stream flight sim. If that's the case, I might do some flight sim tutorials. But I would like to maybe start streaming some flight sim related content here on the channel. But I got a new computer. It's not nothing huge. It's actually a little thing. Doesn't really leave a whole lot of room for expansion in the future, but I kind of bought it just pre-built. I don't really tinker anyways, so something to just kind of save space. I am going to keep my old computer for trains, so I'll have a dedicated flight simming computer and a kind of older... This computer will still stick around for pretty much most other things. I'll still have this computer that I'm on right now for trains and such, as well as reskins for flight sim or NASCAR or whatever. That'll stay on this computer. My other computer will be for my flight sim and other games like The Witcher or something that I can, an actual computer that I can legitimately game on. But I'd like to dedicate the new system pretty much to flight simming, and that'll be the bulk of what I do on that. So I'm quite excited. I actually have a half decent. That's a word now. We've invented words in this live stream. Decent. So the word we're looking for. If I take a trip to my Gmail real quick. Well, not GM. I was hoping for Gmail, but whatever. Scroll down. So I got my invoice for sales. So I have a CyberPower C series. Just a little thing. Like I said, nothing huge. Let's see. Actual name of it is. Either way, but looking at it, I have a OEM Intel Core processor i5, which pretty excited about. Trying to look at graphics card. There's a lot of just data in here. I did upgrade. It came stock with a 500 gig. Hard drive. I'm like, no, do a 1 terabyte. So I did a 1 terabyte upgrade, and I believe I have a GeForce. Yep, right here, GeForce RTX 3060, 12 gigabyte video card built in. So I had Sean look at it, and Sean liked the sounds of the computer. He said it should be able to do pretty much what I want to do on it. The computer has some statistics on game that it runs, and I'm hoping that they're not trying to lie and stuff like that. Make the computer seem more beefier than it is. I don't think they can do that, but it'll be the first time I've been shafted by corporate America. Yeah, so it actually has a half decent graphics card for a change instead of whatever the fuck I'm running right now. I think it's like an AMD 560, something like that, Radeon 560. I don't know. I did not have a good graphics card on this one. Like, maybe it was half decent for the time when I bought this computer, but I was kind of forced to buy this computer on the cheap because a certain girlfriend at the time told me that a computer is an unnecessary purchase. Which, do I need a computer? No, I don't need a computer. Did I want a computer? computer? Yes, I wanted a computer. You know, no one in the world I don't want to say no one in the world needs a computer. I'm sure there are people who do actually need a computer for things they do in the world. I purely wanted a gaming computer so I could actually do my flight sim and not on a MacBook Pro. But, you know, unfortunately, a PC was deemed in the eyes of someone whom I loved at one point to be a unnecessary purchase. So, I was kind of forced to buy it on the cheap. And that was, you know, with monitor and keyboard and stuff like that and speakers, you know, I spent almost $800, $900. And that was with the computer, monitor. I mean, I bought everything all at once. You know, and I did not receive any money. I was supposed to get an extra $200 from her, which deemed because I didn't earn it, though it was a birthday gift, that I would not get the money for the computer that I had been wanting. So I think I don't believe I got any money from her. I think I had to work for it, and even with the job that I was at every day, nope, couldn't spend the money on things that I wanted. But anyways, enough about her and my bitching. I've just, you know, after all these years, I'm still a little sour about it, which I think I have a right to be. You know, all I can say is bless the guy she got married to. He's certainly gonna need it. The point being is that after all these years, I am finally excited to have a adequate gaming computer. You know, I'm excited. I'm happy. You know, I have always been behind, and I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna be top of the line. I know I'll still be behind, but to actually have a computer that I can fly on my flight sim with at decent frames, anything above 20, 25 would be wonderful. If I can complete a flight in real time, and actually, you know, if the flight says I'm going to take an hour to fly somewhere and actually get there in an hour, will be wonderful. Instead of a flight that takes an hour and it takes me an hour and a half. And actually to be able to fly planes that I can't normally fly on my flight sim because they're too graphically intense, will be a big change, and it'll be a welcome change for once in my life. So just all sorts of just great things that I'm happy about. Allegedly, according to UPS, if I go back to my email, allegedly, according to them, the computer should be, it's scheduled for delivery. It's scheduled on the 13th of December. So that'll be Monday, so tomorrow, allegedly. Now I put in for tracking, you know, notifications. I'm gonna just click on it real quick. It says it's on the way. I've requested updates. I haven't really got any updates to my phone. It's probably a case of they're just really short-staffed and busy. They're probably not scanning it. I hope that's the case, and hey, if it doesn't show up Monday, I don't care. I mean, it'll be a bummer. I'm actually kind of gonna admit that, you know, or not kind of, because I did just admit that. You know, but, you know, I'll mostly be bummed out from a standpoint of, like, I did kind of get my hopes up a little bit, because, again, I really am just looking forward to having a adequate computer. But to answer your question, Jared, that's kind of what I wanted for Christmas, was a new computer, and I got it. The only other thing I really want for Christmas is probably just some winter gear for work. I'd like to, actually, a lot of long sleeve shirts would be nice. Yeah, that's really it. Like, I don't really need a lot. I kind of have everything I want. You know, I really don't want anything for Christmas. I just, you know, if I could ask for anything, I would just ask for another safe year, in relative speaking. Another safe year, another prosperous year. I think I had a pretty prosperous year myself. I kind of would like COVID to start tapering down, but I really want everyone just to have a safe holidays with their family, and that's all I could really ask for Christmas, because again, I just don't really need anything other than just essential stuff. Unless someone can like pull a girlfriend out of their hat, that'd be kind of nice, but I'm gonna refrain from that. As much as I do kind of want someone, I'm in no real hurry. It sucks on some days, but on others it's kind of nice just doing my own thing. Which that has taken me a long time to realize that I can just go do my own thing. But yeah, and I hate to kind of sound like just kind of lame for that, but it's like, I work outside now, so I could really use some like thick wool socks, or I could use like a full cover like face mask. I have ski goggles and stuff, so like an actual like true face mask would be nice that I could wear, because I can't find my other one, and it's not like a big face mask. It just kind of like covers a little bit of my neck and the back of my head, and if I pull it up, it can cover my face. Like I want like a true one that goes down to like the base of my neck and pulls up over my head and has a cover that I can pull up and down in front of my face. For the winter, because it gets brutal out in the ramp. It's nothing to mess with. So yeah, realistically, like, I need winter clothes. I thought I had a lot of long sleeve shirts. Haven't really seen them. Like, I've been kind of rummaging through. I call it the pile. I just never really put my clothes away after unpacking them for the 9th time in like a few years. I've been told it's a very stereotypical like male thing to do, especially a single male, but that's just kind of what I've heard. But aside from the stereotypes, I thought I had a lot of long sleeve shirts, and apparently I didn't. I was looking at it, I have a lot of long sleeve shirts that say Southwest Airlines on them, but that's about it. So I think, honestly, I think I have a case of, I was relying a lot on my old jobs to kind of supply me with warm clothing, and I think I just may have worn my warm work shirts, honestly. Which, I mean, they're nice. I never will ever gripe about any of the work gear I received over the years. But, yeah, I just didn't really have any long sleeve shirts. I have a plethora of hoodies that I don't wear a whole lot, or that I can't wear to work because they have airline names on them. I can't wear them at my job because it would be a little bit of a conflict of interest. With Trains 22. Yeah, I know Trains 2022 is coming out. I'm not incredibly happy with the notion it's coming, but I guess it's about time. Which not really, because 2019's only been out for a few years at this point. So I guess the whores want their money. So yeah, it started to. The ball has started to roll in my head that I might at some point need to upgrade. I don't know what I'll upgrade to. I own 2019. I do own 2019. I have installed it once, and it kind of ran like shit. So I haven't used it since that one time. But the thing is that I can't say that I'm gonna upgrade to 2022, only because we all know how Trains works. We all know that they're gonna release 2022. It's gonna come out. It's gonna be okay. There's gonna be some updates they'll need to eventually push because, again, it's N3V. And what's going to happen is they'll release an update and it will completely and entirely break the game. So then they'll have to release another update that will fix the problems but also completely and entirely break the game. And then they'll release another update that will fix the previous. You see the pattern here? You see what I'm trying to get at here? Sorry, listen to the police scanner. But the thing is that Trains has this lovely problem of releasing, service packs, fixing the previous problems, but yet completely and entirely nuking other things. I do not know. I am completely baffled by how this manages to happen. Is this below ground? That's like an entrance in the rear. Oh. There's parts of this hospital that are underground. That's lovely. Yeah, those aren't even doors. The actual entrance to the hospital is over here. I could, like, lower it a little bit. I could lower that down. Can you do the tour of the route? After, David. You will have to wait till after. I would appreciate that if you didn't keep coming in and asking for route tours. That would be my one request to you. Because every stream I do, you always ask for a route tour, and it's a little annoying. Is all I will say. So I would just kindly, respectfully ask that just from now on, just please, I will do a route tour whenever I get around to it. Because again, there's not really much to see in between the streams that I do. Just because, I work on this as a hobby, and I work on this schedulely, so when I come home at night, or schedule on a regimented basis. So, so just kind of know, like, I get around to this when I get around to this. So, again, you can just kind of keep the asking to a minimal, like, utterly appreciated. So I gotta do something weird here with the terrain, just because, like, the hospital is a little messed up, I guess. After all this time of this hospital being here, I never noticed that it sits at a different level. Or, like, parts of it were lower than the other parts, so kind of have to mess with the train here a little bit, which isn't entirely a bother. I actually do kind of like doing this. So how are all the others? So the Carabass is coming along quite well. Open that up here before you go to here. Two screenshots, and I have Ethan. He created the Hawaii Railway. He's part of Control Point Simulations. He is working on the Carabasset. This is his work here on Chain of Ponds. This is actually Carabasset in 2019. Him and I are working on it. We passed a route back and forth in between Tane and 2019 and me backdating it to tame to 4.5 from 4.6 actually seemed to work with the route. Nothing really broke. So I think as long as he didn't edit environmental settings, and as long as he didn't use anything wind's blowing really hard, my flag's still out there. As long as he doesn't use anything with PBR, like, I'm golden. So, but yeah, this is all of Ethan's work. Like I said, he worked on the Hawaii Railway. I believe it's released over at Control Point Simulations. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. He did a phenomenal job with his work. And that is a beautiful shot. But yeah, so the Carabasset is trucking along. We added Ethan. He's the newest member of the project. Just trying to think off the top of my head real quick what I'm doing here. 1 second. Well, that's why I can't get a hold of that. If I do this, and then what I'm gonna do is lower this down. Then I'm gonna put a concrete, or I'll probably put a concrete wall or a slab beneath that, so I can lower this area down all the way. To be careful with how I do that. Can we join the Discord? I'm not in a Discord call. I'm just using Discord. This is the Approach Medium server, so if you're in the AM server, you can absolutely join in there. I can't, as far as I'm aware, I can't give out invites to the AM server. That's Approach Mediums, so I'm just I mean, I am a moderator, but but I don't think that's my job to hand out invites to the AM server. That's up to Joe. He normally does that whenever he live streams. So, but David, I'm almost positive that you're in the AM server, or at one point was in the AM server. So yeah, if you're in the AM server, just where you can follow. Any other Discord server, absolutely not. I keep that for my close friends and other stuff in my personal life. So, you know, I've debated having a YouTube Discord. I'm too small for that. It wouldn't make any sense. So honestly, like, if any of you want to be in the same Discord server I'm in, just join Approach Medium. Not to steal his thunder or his server, but that's just where I am. So it would just make the most sense. So if you're in there, just go ahead. I will ask, just please don't message me on Discord. You know, I am, like I said, a moderator in the AM server. If you have a problem, feel free to reach out. If there's anything going on in the server that needs attention, feel free to reach out. But please, just I would appreciate not being messaged if it can be helped. I just, you know, again, I keep my Discord for my friends, and I keep it for moderating the AM server, as well as keeping in touch with, like I said, my friends that are around the world. So, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say on the matter that hasn't already been said before. My long-winded spiel, so thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Toby, you need to start keeping your cat hair to yourself, buddy. Get him a keyboard. Mouse. Alright, I need to, like, figure out this slope real quick, because it's a little messy. So I think I'm going to do is this. Level this back out. I'm going to get a wider spline. I would like. Jesus Christ. I can do this. I can do this. There you go. You're getting it now. I think I'll do. Grab these. What is the wind up to? Let me see. The wind is. It's only blowing at 18. Alright. Actually, yeah, speaking of weather, so last night, I guess some really large and devastating storms rolled through parts of the Midwest. Actually, one particular storm produced a tornado that struck an Amazon warehouse, one town down from where I used to live in Illinois. Edwardsville, Illinois, was hit by a fairly large and devastating tornado. You know, I don't know anyone who was affected by the storm. I don't have any family, particularly who worked in that warehouse. Everyone whom I care for, old friends, old colleagues, old co-workers, I've gotten in touch with them, and they're okay. So that's good news. Everyone I needed to hear from has been spoken to. So I'm quite happy to know that everyone's all right. But yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking to have that happen to somewhere, you know, so close to where I used to live. And you know, it's just it's weird. I guess what's also weird in my mind is hearing about something that went on in a place that I used to live in, as context from, I guess it's kind of just kind of hearing about it. Like I'm not there. This is kind of the first time I've heard about anything in relation to Illinois since I've left. So it's kind of weird, just because again, I haven't spoken much about Illinois. I haven't really heard about anything in Illinois in quite some time, and I definitely haven't spoken about it in this context. So it's just a little weird to know, like, that happened. I don't really know if I'm explaining it well. It's weird it happened and I'm not there, and now I'm hearing about a place that I am quite familiar with, actually. I am very, very, very familiar with that area. I used to commute by there every night. Every single night I would commute by there. Oh, Jesus Christ, just let me grab the road. No, I don't want to grab that. There we go. Can I not straighten this? Don't believe I can. Actually, it was, I was telling people it was funny. Of course, not at the moment, not at that particular second it wasn't funny, but when the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup, I had just come off Interstate 270, and I was merging onto 255 right there by that warehouse. And as I came around the corner, merging onto the highway, there's like a concrete wall right by the right next to the merge lane. As you're kind of coming around to keep you from careening off the highway and ending back up in the lanes of travel. But as I came around the bend and I started to accelerate, I saw a gas can in the middle of the road. And of course, my first thought is, oh crap. But in my head, I went, oh, it's plastic. I'll just accelerate and run it over, and it'll be fine. It's plastic, I'm in a car. What's plastic gonna do to my car? Yeah, so I ran over that gas can, and because it's a plastic gas can, it's made to withstand a little abuse. I actually got it wedged up under the engine block of the car, and instantly the whole cab smelled like gasoline. I'm like, ah, shit. And then my next thought was, oh wait, I have a gasoline can. Presumably it was full of gasoline, wedged up on my engine block, my hot engine block, and now there's just gasoline all over my car's engine. That's not good. That's not good at all. Shit, that sucks. And I was right there on the bridge over 270, right by that warehouse, trying to get my, this gas can out from underneath my car, right as the St. Louis Blues made history and won their first Stanley Cup. I remember when I first moved to Illinois, they built that warehouse. It is what it is. It's nothing huge. It just, stuff gets built. But it's so weird, I guess, to see something that I used to see every single day, and have since, left, because, again, I moved home, in this context, just in this, different way, and seeing it destroyed, and knowing it's like, it's something that, like, I was just by every day. I don't know why, I'm trying to justify this, and, the more I say it, the more I just kind of sound creepy or crazy or weird or something like that, but it's like, it's just weird seeing it on TV, and it's just weird knowing that it was hit by a tornado. I don't know, it's just, that's the only way I can describe it to people. is just that what happened is just it's so surreal, but also it's a little close to home in some senses. Yeah, I don't live there anymore, but I did at one point. And that was home to me. And seeing a place that I called home and that I did love, you know, I'm happier that I am now home in Maine. But I did love being in St. Louis. It was a fun time. But you know, just a reminder that you know, storms are nothing to fuck with. You know, storms are nothing to mess with at all. You know, it's I always used to kind of, I wouldn't say get picked on, but people always used to kind of poke fun at me because I took every tornado warning very seriously. And people used to kind of, you know, poke fun at me like, oh, you know, I haven't seen a tornado here in years, and it's like, yeah, but you know, it can happen. It can happen whenever it wants to. Just because you haven't seen a tornado here in forever doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So, and you know, not trying to prove a point, but lo and behold, you know, unfortunately this one kind of struck at an odd hour. And, you know, it struck in the evening, people getting ready for bed. A lot of people out there wake up early in the morning. There are still some people at work. It's only 8 o'clock, so you know, that warehouse had people in it working. But no, every tornado warning I treated like it was real, like there was actually a tornado on the ground heading my direction. Oh, hey, Dobie. Because it was going to be that one time that you let your guard down and you treat it like it's a false alarm, and you're gonna wish you had treated it like it was real. No, Toby. Yes, you are a cat. What if I picked you up, huh? You know, I don't mess with weather. I have had a few valuable lessons in learning respect for weather. Particularly my first tornado event, Toby. Come here. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. What a cat. What a dude. What are you doing? Oh. You think an EF5 is the finger of God, then I think you need to rethink your God. EF5 is a sinister beast. You know, I'm not going to sit here and start saying, you know, oh yeah, that's most certainly an EF5. From what I know, you know, I'm not an expert or a novice by any stretch of the imagination. But from what I do know about storms and what I do know about tornadoes, the damage does strike me as EF5-esque. I don't know if they've officially stated that it's an F5 tornado. Like I said, the damage does strike me as very F5 worthy of that massive title. But again, I don't know what they've said about the storm. But that most certainly, that is a otherworldly power, and you know, if that's that's it's just horrific. You know, looking at some of those photos out of Kentucky are just absolutely mind-blowing, and you do have to keep in perspective that the winds were not 300 miles plus. That's no way. Yeah, it was on the ground for 300 miles. I don't think. They're saying that debris from the tornado was being lofted up into about 37,000 feet. They were seeing debris, and that's where jets cruise. So I mean, the winds were absolutely devastating with this tornado. I mean, they don't have any reports of wind speed. And just looking at how some of the damage is, I mean, there is houses are absolutely obliterated in this path. But you have to stop and remember that there's a lot of debris being torn about. And, you know, once debris starts hitting a house like trees, once that wind gets invited in, I mean, it's game over. So, yeah, there's a lot of widespread devastation, but that's from just, you know, windows getting blown out. And you also have to stop and think the pressure is dropping. You know, when your ears pop in a tornado, that's, you know, people talk about a tornado getting close or a tornado going by someone's house, their ears pop. You know, that's because the pressure has changed so drastically. You know, it's a massive low pressure system. You know, you're in a vacuum. Yeah, the old scale went up to 318, but that's why they have the enhanced scale, the EF scale. You know, the winds of an F5 just has to be 200 miles plus. I mean, you know, could it get up to 318? Maybe. But will it? Who knows? I doubt it. Just because of wind speeds like that, I believe there'd be more catastrophic devastation. Which is scary to think, you know. I think truly that this was an EF4, EF5. You know, this is an absolutely devastating tornado. But I don't believe... hey, Mark, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, if it ever comes out that the winds were up that way, just go ahead and shoot me a message and let me know. Like, hey, you know, just looking at it, like, it's maybe coming from a place of just hard to believe that winds could get that fast, but yeah, I don't think the winds were blowing that fast, because I think if the winds were blowing up to 318 miles an hour, you know, I think it would be an absolute. I think, you know, we would see the clear cutting like we saw here, but I don't think there'd be anything left in the path. I really don't. I think we would see just everything absolutely gone. Because you look at some of the images and, like, there's cars that are still relatively parked in where they were. You know, there's some trees that are still standing. Like, the trees aren't debarked. They're definitely de-leaved. But, like, you know, there's still, like, limbs on the tree. So I definitely think, from my unprofessional standpoint, mind you, but my knowledge of weather and knowledge of tornadoes, I do think that this was, you know, somewhere in the range of an EF4 to EF5, at least in damage. You know, who knows where the winds were. But to know that, like, debris is being lofted up to 37,000 feet, that says something about this storm. You know, whether it be the tornado itself or just the actual, you know, updrafts and downdrafts of this storm, you know, that speaks volumes into how this storm was behaving. I don't think it's uncommon, or unheard of at least, to think debris could be tossed that high into the air. I can't say ever, could remember a time where that's happened. When we think about it, 100 years ago, and was I believe, the tri-state tornado, and about 100 years later, we have the quad-state tornado. So, I mean, I'm not going to say this is a 100-year event, but if you're thinking about it, I would presume that this is definitely an event that really only happens once every 100 years. A massive tornado on this scale, and we can contribute maybe climate change to the severity of these storms and just how destructive they are. I would definitely go ahead and say climate change is definitely a factor. But tornado outbreaks like this, I remember living in Illinois, and December 1st of 2018, we had a massive Illinois-based tornado outbreak that evening, with a tornado, I believe, of EF4 velocity hitting Taylorville, Illinois. Luckily that storm wasn't as devastating as this one in particular. Especially, I don't believe there was any real major loss of life either, because people were prepared. There were supposed to be Christmas celebrations and parades that day that ended up getting canceled. And all the event planners who were in charge of that canceled those events, I mean, probably saved countless lives. Who knows how many lives they probably saved that day by canceling those events. But that was a massive tornado outbreak. When I got to work, it was hot. When I got to work, it was unseasonably hot. And then when I left work, it was pretty on par with how a December should feel. So a extreme cold front moved in. So I mean, it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is uncommon. I mean, it was a busy night that night. There was just tornado warnings everywhere. And actually, just north of me was a bunch of tornado warnings. Where I live was fine. We were relatively fine. I just stayed at home and didn't do a whole lot. I think actually I did venture out to see if I could see anything, but it was nighttime, and I had a lot of other stuff going on at the time. But yeah, I just I like to hope that possibly the winds weren't that strong, because like I said, I'm looking at the debris path and pictures from this, and especially out of what's that town name? It's Mayfield. I keep want to say Maryville, but it's not Maryville. Looking at the debris in Mayfield, it's like, it's bad. I mean, it can even be F3 damage, because you have to stop thinking. F3 tornadoes are they're pretty violent. When I think of F5 tornadoes, I think of absolute, complete, utter devastation. But you look at F3s, and they're just as violent in some cases. And F3 tornadoes can be very devastating. Not F5 devastating, but just devastating. I think of F3 as just little nasty tornadoes, just little gremlins. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they got they're not quite strong as some of their historical counterparts, but they're nasty little storms. But yeah, I mean, just looking at it, I guess I'll go ahead and pull up a photo. Okay, there's Edwardsville. I mean, looking at this, I mean, there's still structures standing. So, looking here in Mayfield, just in particular here, just looking upon Mayfield, those silos are still standing. These cars are, tossed. They definitely got tossed, but that car is parked, and you can attribute the stuff around it to buildings that were here. But you know, just kind of thinking about it, you know, there are major tornadoes where these cars would be mangled beyond recognition. I mean, you know, you kind of look at this and it's a Cadillac. That's a Cadillac Escalade. You know, most of the car is still together. You know, most of the car is still pretty much there. You can tell this is a Cadillac. You know, even just by looking at it. You know, and the badging's still there. You know, it's damaged. That car is probably totaled, but this car is not mangled beyond recognition. And that is the power of some of these tornadoes and some of these storms. Is they can mangle cars to the point where you don't even know what the hell it was. You know, so just looking at well, it's not the first time they've been hit. Just looking at some of this damage, I mean, this is catastrophic. You know, catastrophic damage. But I don't know. That's a sad, more than a memory. That's sad. I mean, it looks like such a beautiful little town, and now it's gone. You know, I think about this town, and you know, it kind of reminds me of where I live a little bit. You know, looking at some of the buildings, the architecture. It kind of reminds me of where I'm from, and you know, that hits home a little bit. That definitely hits home a little bit. You know, regardless of what this tornado ended up as, regardless of its that's devastating. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's a beautiful structure. One thing though is I'm gonna say this. I'm rather impressed that those windows held up. I mean, look at those windows. Those windows are still there. They are intact. I'm actually quite impressed that those windows are not blown out. You know, I know that's such a weird thing to say. But, you know, it just... I don't know. Plane. Yeah, it's totaled. You know, but like I said, regardless of, I have to show you this real quick. So, Ethan sent me a photo of, oh, look at that. Let me get the other one up real quick. Look at that. That is... small little wood chipping plant right on the side of the tracks. That's nice. Reply to him off screen. So I'm just making an observation real quick. yeah, I mean, just like, but anyways, like I said, the main point is that regardless of what I think the tornado's strength is that, you know, it just, it's devastating, really. You know, I had kind of made a joke earlier on yesterday that I wish I could have been back in Illinois, because I talk very fondly in some cases of chasing storms and going out, and you know, whether it be just chasing storms to go watch the lightning or chasing storms to see a twister. You know, I miss it. I haven't done it in a while because I you know, it's not convenient for me to just get in the car anymore and go out. And man, you're never gonna find a tornado out here. So you know, it's no longer convenient for me anymore to go chase storms. You know, I want to chase. The only storms I can chase here are snowstorms, and I ain't chasing that. Yeah, I'd rather chase a tornado than a snowstorm, because A, the fuck are you chasing a snowstorm for? Special looking snowflakes. But the point being is that I'm not driving in a snowstorm. But regardless, I made a comment like, oh man, I really wish I could be back in Illinois right now, and you know, I'm gonna say it right now, I'm glad I was nowhere near the state. You know, I'm glad I'm home. You know, and I think that's kind of a little selfish of me to say, just because some people don't have that choice, and you know, that's home to them. You know, the small towns of Edwardsville and Steele and you know, in Mayfield, Kentucky, and such. You know, that's home to them, and here I am saying, "Oh, glad I'm nowhere near there." It you know, I don't mean any harm by my statement, but the thing is that, you know, I'm obviously not from the Midwest. That's not my home. I'm glad I came home, because that came very close to a place I called home for a while. You know, that hit very close to somewhere that I fondly called home for a while. And if that was you know, a place that I still called home, that would have been very unnerving. Very unnerving. You know, I am very happy to know that all my old friends and people, like I said, that I know are okay. No one I know has been hurt by this storm. Most certainly would be the talk of the town, I can imagine that. You know, I'm not even going to begin to speculate, you know, my response to the storm. Again, I'm not there. I don't live there anymore, so I'm not. Who knows how I would have been affected or bothered by the storm. You know, that's just a part of life in that part of the country. Unfortunately, you know, it's a sad reality for people who live in the Midwest. So that tornadoes happen. But it is just very sad to know that a lot of these people that were affected by the storm lost their lives. You know, what the hell? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, and I hate to say it, I do think the death toll might continue to rise in the coming days as they start to sift through, because I mean, unfortunately this tornado tore through a very, what seems to be a very populated section of this region. It's just it's sad. It's just very sad, and that's really all I can say about it. You know,
More might is yet needed upon the field.
It's really
For the whites of field
there's really not much else I can say.
reforge the bonds that have long been broken.
But
Arise.
I hope everyone affected is alright. I hope everyone can move forward.
Every success and failure. Arise, for the gods have sounded their call across the worlds, and you have heard it deep within your heart. Arise.
Yeah, just I hope that everyone's can recover and rebuild and move on from it, and just people rebuild. Midwesterners are very resilient people. They're very resilient. This ain't their first rodeo. It'll be tough for some, just with the loss of things, but nothing the Midwesterners never seen before, and again, unfortunately, I can confidently say it's something they'll probably see again. Tornadoes are a part of life out there. So I might have to go soon. I have something to attend to for a little bit, unfortunately. The problem with my impromptu live streams is that I do tend to be interrupted. I least expect it, and sometimes when I least want it. But that is a unfortunate side effect of just how I operate these streams.
I mean, that could be a street. Ugh.
Get lower down to this level. You know what? I might do that real quick. That's not going to be a street anymore. Instead, the sidewalk's going to connect. What I'm going to do is this. So I'm going to show you guys how much of a lunatic I am. Alright. So let's take this. I'm going to lower that down. So do this real quick. Alright, now to navigate through this trench, per se. Don't do that. Yeah, that would lower that, so... Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the FMA retaining wall. Let me see, look nice. That could look pretty decent. Really fit though. Oh, that'll be nice. So I don't know if we'll get the full kind of archwork. We might not, but it still looked nice though. So I'll go ahead and drag this out to here. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna lower it. It's not what I wanted to lower. So we kind of pseudo get some of the archwork. Except here, it still looks good though. So I'm definitely a fan. What we can also do is take this sidewalk and move it a little closer to, say, the edge. There. So that will do that. Now what we need is kind of a ramp to come down to here. Kind of come to here, and then come down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab conch 10 meter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a wheelchair accessible ramp. Because we need to be ADA friendly when it comes to something along the lines like this. Particularly because, you know, we're at a hospital. So... Now, I think the problem is that this wheelchair ramp might be a little too steep. So I think actually we might not be able to have ADA accessibility from here. Which kind of irks me a touch, but I guess that'll have to be the case. So yeah, any wheelchairs needing to get down to here will have to go through the main entrance. probably get away with it if I maybe extended that out a little bit, but I want those windows to show. So I think this area cannot be a ADA accessible area. So, what I will need though is stairs. Let's see. Do is I'll require more of the retaining wall. Have a good night, Jared. A slight feeling I don't think those stairs are gonna make it. Actually. Well, I'll be damned. Looks like honestly the stairs do make it. With plenty of room to spare. It's actually very good. Working on this for over a year now, and the things that I never noticed with some parts of the city are always quite impressive. You know, little things like, you know, certain parts of the city are lower than others. You know, some buildings. You know, I've been over here thinking that the entrance to the hospital was behind me on this road right over here to my left. In all reality, it's on the other side of the building, not even on the main road. Ouch. I'm gonna wrap it up here very shortly. I am growing a little tired, but I am also growing very hungry. Did my dishes tonight, so plenty of clean bowls to go eat some chili. So I think I'm gonna take advantage of that. Though I have no cheese, which I'm a little upset about. Last time I had a bowl of chili, unfortunately, my cheese hadn't quite expired yet, but it was going a little bad in the fridge is all I will say. Guess it wasn't sealed properly. And I went to go get my cheese for my chili, and I plopped some chilies in there, and I noticed, oh, there's some little specks on my cheese. I'm like, so I had to, before the cheese melted onto the chili, I had to try and pick out all the cheese I could get before I adjusted that. I was a little less than pleased, but yeah, it unfortunately happens, especially with food. I think it's cool just having the little different layers. If I were to come down here. Yeah, that's cool. I gotta fix that. There's no real scenic views over here. From the street down here, you get the top of the Legion Line's antenna. It's always a good reference point in the city. Here you get the tower itself again. I think it's, let's see. Be patient up here. Get a decent little view of the building. Some of the other buildings in town. Of course, you couldn't see that unless you had a corner view, but at the top of the St. Olaf's Cathedral. Get just make out the weather vane on top of the government house right there. Get the train station's canopy. Get the telecommunications building. Legion Lines Tower, top of the Department of Defense building. From here you can see the cranes of the port, the lighthouse. Yeah, that's how I cram detail into a route like this. And, did I need to do this? No, I could have just made this a little one-way street, which I intended to. And like I said, a little upset that it's not ADA accessible, but I think that's something I can look past. I could always do something where, I bring the retaining wall out, then over, and then kind of slope it down to here. Perhaps here is not ADA accessible at all. But I guess that this is just not a ADA accessible entrance. These are just, maybe side entrances for visitors, or maybe just the regular old clinics and stuff like that, or, just entrances for other purposes. I'm trying to see real quick if there's other entrances on this building. looks like this is the main entrance. Which from here you can access everything, so... There is one thing real quick. Let's see. Shit, that's a big ass tree. That's pretty. I'll consider that. I was just curious if they had anything. But I do have said I have to go get ready for bed. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Listen to my ramblings. I will chat with you all on the flip side, and yeah, stay safe. Hope everyone has a good rest of your weekend. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all probably have let's shoot one more time before the weekend's out.
Varme og tryghed, ej alle er værdige til. Føl energien i luften, og hørende der gælens sang. Solen snart vækser, om lidt kommer månen igen. Tak for alt, kære barn. Glem os ej, stjernebarn. God nat. Rager og elver, folk kæmper og talende dyr. De alle lever omkring os i vore eventyr. Uhyre og helte samt runer, du ser på din vej. Se nøje efter, og tegnene vises for dig. Rider op i frost og ranke, vejen til gudernes hjem. Regnbuen stiger til Asgård, træd på og gå frem. Tak for alt, kære barn. Glem os ej, stjernebarn. God nat. Jætterne lurer, en krigsnat vil nynne sin sang. Skriv nu slagets gang. Lyt til takten og skab melodien dertil, så alle kan opleve kampen af Yggdrasil. Vi glæder os alle til mere om gildet i Valhall herpå. Om kampenes scener ej lysløgn kan overgå. Du flyver blandt skyerne, danser på stjerneeng. Hanen han gæler under vor stolte ven. Så skal der synges om natstridens tonestrøm. Kampen skal kæmpes på ny i en midsommerdrøm. Tak for alt, kære barn. Glem os ej, stjernebarn.